Dead Chown Duo podcast, episode number 72, a special one that I haven't even told Alex why it's a special podcast yet, but it's a special one.
Why is it a special one?
1 year anniversary since the return of DCD. Can you believe it?
I'll be honest, I can't believe it. It feels like it was just yesterday. So, I mean, originally the comeback was supposed to be a one-off, which is kind of interesting because I remember me and Andy had this conversation. It was something like, I'm paraphrasing and loosely remembering how it went, but it was something along the lines of, we should do a one-off just to mess with people. And I was going to do my own podcast potentially called Al Talks Aliens. And then you were going to do the College Dropouts podcast with Drake and Dylan, which unfortunately met its end way too soon, I feel like. But the one-off went pretty well, and I don't think that we really hesitated in continuing to do it. I know I made a joke originally about, like, if this doesn't get so many views, I'm not doing another episode. But
100.
Yeah, it was just something stupid. Like, I believe it or not,
that begged Bangle to retweet it, and it got more views.
Oh, well, I mean, to be fair, like, I wasn't really steadfast in that. So, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it's been a year. I mean, a lot's happened in this year. So, time flies when a lot happens. It's when, like, nothing's going on that time just doesn't fly for me. But, like, with...
I mean, I think that's everybody.
Well, I don't know. Some people make it seem like, so for example, I was talking to my grandparents one day, and, you know, they're both retired, and they were saying time just flies for them. As they get older, they feel like the time goes faster and faster. And
you know why?
Why is that?
Because it's, like, it feels like that because you can just, like, think of, or you can, like, remember things, and it just, like, seems faster.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're basically saying like
time never changes. I mean, time is a concept, but like
it's definitely a concept, and it's definitely a constant. But what I don't know. Everybody's different, right? But I notice when I'm busy, time flies. Whether I'm having fun or if I'm doing like the worst thing ever, right?
You want to be technical scientist, weeb Andy. The state of flow. You know what that is?
Please expand.
It's when you're doing something that's not too difficult or not too easy, you go into the sense of flow where you're like, your brain just like shuts off and you're doing it. Because if it's too hard, you'll get frustrated and start thinking a lot. But if it's too easy, you'll just be bored. So the state of flow is where time just flies.
Yeah. You know, I think that's definitely something that employers try to set up is you want to get that perfect employee where the work isn't too easy, but it's not over their head either. But unfortunately, what happens is when you get more tenured employees, I know this from working in retail as a manager, working in telecommunications as a manager, you name it, is as people get better, if you don't continue to challenge them, they become stagnant. And you know, as a result, you end up with an employee that's not as productive, even though they're more qualified than they ever were before.
That's me currently at my job.
It can happen, man. It's a reality. Like, I've even seen it myself. So, like, this week, you know, at work, I've been challenged. You know, like, there have been every once in a while, probably about once a week, they'll throw me a challenge that's quite a challenge, and it's refreshing because I can do it.
It's a new job though, too.
Yeah, but it's very similar in a lot of ways. But what I will say is they ask a lot more of me occasionally than this other job would have in the past, where I was let go in September, and I know I've talked at length about that job, but
this one's your best job you've ever had.
Best job I've ever had?
Walmart.
No. That was a good case of I got hired. They knew I was overqualified. They stated that I was overqualified. The entire time I was there, they were basically saying, we know you're probably going to leave as soon as you find something better. And I did. And I feel bad about that. But it was just, I don't know, man.
Who cares?
You know, there's
at least you don't work there now.
It took its toll on my marriage. I'll tell you that. Like, I don't feel like I was. It did, yeah, but I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. My relationship with my wife is like
more important, way more important.
Well, I always tell people, God's number one for me. Family's number two.
Yeah, me too, brother.
And then, well, okay, but I get that. And I know some people are rolling their eyes, and that's fine. But I am a believer, and to me, living life the right way, and even if we want to take God out of the equation, being a good person comes number one to me, and then family comes number two. And Ashley is my family, and I don't feel like I was the best person or the best not governor, that's not the right word. Steward is the word I'm looking for. I wasn't the best steward of my own house. And me and Ashley, we had some fights. We had some knockdown, drag out fights, and I know it was 100% related in one way or another to that job. So I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Anyway, how are you this week, Andy? I feel like I rambled for 20 minutes.
I work at a place. I come home. I sleep.
How's the new house?
It's fine. I've been here for 3 weeks.
You liking it?
Sure. It's just a house. Like,
sometimes you blow my mind, man. When I bought my first house,
how?
When I bought my first house, I was on cloud nine. I'll even go a step further, going further back in my youth. When I got my own first place, no roommates, just me in a crappy 1-bedroom apartment, I was thrilled. That is not a crappy anything. It's a you have to be listening to the video, or you have to be watching the video version to see what Andy just did there. But yeah, it's good. So check us out on YouTube. But if you're listening to the audio version, he just pointed at the toilet over his shoulder. Andy lives in a tiny house. It's like the little mini houses that you've seen on TV.
You watched the show Tiny House on HGTV?
I didn't know there was a show called Tiny House on HGTV. That's kind of interesting to me. Well, it's probably, HGTV, what are they going to cover, right? So you can only run so many reruns of House Hunters.
Yeah. I guess I can show, my kitchen's right there.
Yeah.
And then this is the whole room.
Yeah, it's basically like a really tiny 1-bedroom, 1-bath house where it's really just it's really a studio apartment. Yeah. That's actually a house, and Andy lives in that, and I think it's really cool. I think it's pretty rad, dude, because like at your age I would have loved that, but I don't know, everybody's different. So on to our regular format this week. Andy, what have you been watching? What have you been playing this week?
Let me pull up Letterboxd. Give me uno second. Don't know second in Spanish.
I really need to start writing out my list for this segment each week, because I feel like I really forget a lot of stuff.
I just checked Letterboxd. I watched a movie called Wild Wild West, starring Will Smith, from 1999.
Before we continue, what did you think about that? That was critically
pretty
panned.
bad.
Okay. I've yet to meet someone who liked it.
WWE WrestleMania 1.
Ooh.
From 1985. I'm saying it's like a movie. I watched WrestleMania 1. Yeah.
Definitely a big difference from today's WrestleMania, but they were all in.
It's weird WrestleMania.
The WrestleMania 2 was even weirder because it took place in, I believe, 3 locations.
In New York, Chicago, and LA.
Yeah, that was a very weird WrestleMania.
And then 3 is just the classic.
3 was probably, in my opinion,
the most iconic WrestleMania ever.
Exactly. And if we're talking about where WrestleMania really, I feel like, hit its stride and really figured out what it wanted to be, I think 3 is the one where where it starts to shape up.
1 has the $15,000 slam challenge. That's a classic match.
Yeah, there's some really good gems in WrestleMania 1. There's a few okay matches in WrestleMania 2, but I think we can all agree WrestleMania 3 is where it really starts getting great.
And then WrestleMania 17 is the best ever made.
I don't recall much about 17, so I'm not going to say one way or the other. I'd have to look at the card.
Stone Cold. It had the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian in the first ever TLC match.
Okay, so that that would be a contender, in my opinion.
Then I watched Mark Maron's stand-up special, In Time's Fun, which is funny, like convenient that he's making this at the current events going on. And just
Okay.
him making fun of the end of days. Then I watched Alita Battle Angel. Then I watched Dr. No, the first James Bond movie. And then I watched Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And then I watched Lost Girls, new movie on Netflix. Then I watched a episode of Raw from March 8th, 1999. And I'm going to start every Tuesday watching an episode of Raw, like in order from back then. And SmackDown hasn't started yet, so I can't do SmackDown as well. SmackDown starts later in the year of 1999.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like, I realized I watch wrestling Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I don't do anything Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday we watch an old school Raw. Thursday I watch old school SmackDown. It's really stupid, but you know.
Yeah.
That episode had Owen Hart versus D'Lo Brown in a street fight. Interesting episode. And then that 70 show.
Good list. Playing anything this week? Probably not.
No.
Usually you mention it. Okay. Well, this week I got all the way to the end of American Dad on Hulu. I know I'm missing some of the newer episodes, so looking forward to those coming out. Finished up season 4 of Better Call Saul. It's really good. Can't wait to get into season 5. I'm a little bit sad that season 6 is the final episode, or the final season, but you know, I feel like they've done a great job in fleshing out the character, so I really don't know that they would want to go any further. I'm surprised we're even getting to season 6, so I really shouldn't be that upset by it. Watched Alita Battle Angel. Watched the new Clone Wars this week. Watched the new Picard. Actually, watched the last 2 episodes of Picard this week. I don't know. Somehow I managed to miss it last week, and still really enjoying that. Clone Wars on Disney Plus, really good. Probably justifying my subscription solely based off of that at this point. And as far as playing, I got to put some serious time into One Punch Man on Xbox One, and probably more in one day than I had the whole week that I owned it prior to. And it's a good game, but it's rather repetitive, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. But I'm still happy that I supported it, because I think it's really important to support games that you believe in. So, you know, I'm glad that I purchased it, but I'm probably going to muscle through it, no pun intended, finish it, and probably trade that in with some kind of a trade-in deal at GameStop and try to recoup a decent amount of money.
To Reggie.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing that's going on right there with Reggie taking over GameStop. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, yeah, I've been playing that, and then World of Warcraft, obviously. Didn't touch Madden this week, and don't know if I'm going to get back. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get really fully back into that one. And it goes without mentioning, I'm really looking forward to Animal Crossing and Doom coming out next week. So I'm trying to finish up One Punch Man before that, because I know
any movies coming out. Guess when the next movie comes out. The next new movie, any new movie.
Oh God, probably April or May.
April 10th.
Yeah, I could even see that.
New movie.
I could even see that getting pushed back again. So, I don't know. I mean, I've been snatching stuff up on Vudu. Not that I go to the movie theaters that much, but I know a lot of my friends are just watching old stuff on Vudu, or maybe buying Blu-rays in Andy's case, and, you know, just kind of working their way through that. But yeah, you know, this week I'm probably going to watch quite a few movies, just because Ashley and I have sort of made the decision to try and, you know, kind of hang out inside for the
Watch The Lighthouse.
I will watch The Lighthouse. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to. Yeah, I have quite a few things that I need to watch. Like Biodome, bought Biodome this week. Really need to see that. The Lighthouse, just as good as Biodome, I'm sure. Got to see that.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Come on, man. You don't like Pauly Shore?
The Lighthouse, my second favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
And Biodome, like, even.
No, I wouldn't say that. Like, it's interesting that I made that real. It's not even a really good. It's not even a joke, but Biodome, I like it, and I realize it's bad. It's kind of like Freddy Got Fingered or Road Trip for me, right? It's just
Thanksgiving.
It's just a stupid comedy, and I bought it, and Ashley and I were watching Alita Battle Angel today on Vudu. And when I clicked on My Voodoo on my Xbox, Biodome comes up, and she goes, "What is all this stuff? What did you buy?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What the hell is Biodome? It looks stupid." And I'm like, "Oh God!" Like, I just got judged.
Did you redeem the code I sent you?
Oh, by the way, thank you for Uncut Gems.
Said thank you.
I'm sorry, that was rude of me, but I really do.
I'm never
mean
sending
this.
you a
Thank
code
you.
again.
Oh, gosh, no, I'm kidding. Come on, man. No, I do appreciate when you send me those codes, though, because a lot of times it's something that I was going to purchase myself when it went on sale. Uncut Gems, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Good movie.
I'm also really looking forward to Parasite and Waves, a couple other ones that Andy sent me that have been critically acclaimed, so...
Waves and Uncut Gems both not, but...
So, moving on to listener questions. Speaking of staying inside and watching a lot of movies, due to the current events that I think we all know what we're talking about, starts with a C, and everybody's very concerned about it.
It ends with death sometimes. Only 3% of the time.
Jeez. Yeah, it does. So, due to that, E3 2020 has been canceled. And at Cuban Swim on Twitter, Bobby, Patreon backer, thanks for sending this in to us. How do you feel about that, Andy?
It's the death of E3 forever.
Nah.
People are going to realize that they could just take the Nintendo route and just release directs. I'm not saying E3 will still be a thing. It'll still be a consumer event. We've discussed this. I think we definitely discussed in the past. Yeah. It's more taking this consumer route, and they're going to have like celebrities doing stuff. I think this is the end of conferences at E3. And I think that it's going to, from this point out, people are just going to realize they're wasting a bunch of money doing conferences when they can just do Nintendo Directs, a thing that Nintendo's been doing for years.
If I had to predict the future, I would say that Nintendo and Microsoft will probably still have some minimal presence there. Sony will do their own thing. Nintendo, I think it's kind of a coin flip. I could see them kind of going the direct route. And I think right now, to their credit, Nintendo Directs are really well made. I mean, they're very easy to digest. They're usually about 15 minutes. They give you all the high points. They get you hyped up. And they get people interested in the product that's coming in the near future, sometimes even the very far future. So I think Nintendo's really
nice and
handling
condensed.
Yeah, Nintendo's definitely handling it, I think, the best. But if we're going to talk about long-form conferences, I would say that Microsoft is handling it the best. But even myself, sometimes I watch the Microsoft conference and I'm not interested in about 40% of what's on the stage. So, you know, because that's just how we are as gamers. We're not going to be interested in everything. Like, no, we just don't have the time. Nobody does. I mean, if you have a job. So even if you don't have a job, I can't imagine that you'd be interested in everything on the stage. But, you know, Sony's kind of a good middle ground. They all have their strengths in one way or another in terms of how they distribute. But if Microsoft said tomorrow, we're just doing, like, we're ripping off Nintendo, we're going to call it, like, Xbox Direct or something, you know, like, I would be okay with it. It's just not like it used to be. E3 used to be, like, a very press-heavy, less consumer-oriented event.
You used to not be able to go unless you're in press.
Exactly. And even when they did open it up to consumers initially, I remember it was very hard to get tickets. It was kind of like San Diego Comic-Con, where the tickets were very highly sought after, not a lot of supply and a lot of demand. So, I think it's going to be, I think it is going to be a little bit of a blow to what's left of E3 going forward. But I will also say, it might not be as much of a blow because we've seen the NBA, the NCAA, NASCAR, golf, PGA, MLB's pushing back their season. I'm probably forgetting even more, but like everything's either getting canceled or suspended.
WWE and UFC.
I'll tell you right now.
Two best sports, baby.
I'll tell you right now, when it comes to WrestleMania, because Ashley and I have been talking about this a lot. To me, it's like the last thing that will get canceled. Because WWE plans for a year for this. It's their biggest event of the year. It's got a huge amount of investment in it right here, right now.
WrestleMania?
I'm saying I could see them saying risk it for the biscuit, and they do it anyway.
Yeah. I had a weeb moment, speaking of E3, going back to that. Someone's like, this is the first time E3's ever been canceled. I was like, oh, nope.
Weeb Andy.
I was like, E3 at one point which went non-existent and then came back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I completely forgot that did happen, but now you're mentioning it, I vaguely remember it. Sometimes
like
you forget those.
Since like the 90s. And there's like
it used to be a big deal.
Like a several year gap between.
I'll tell you, it used to really drive a lot of business into GameStop stores when I worked there, over the course of the 5 or 6 years that I worked there, probably even longer than that. But anytime E3 would come out and people would be coming in going like, hey, are you guys taking pre-orders on this console, this
Dead or Alive
whatever?
Extreme Volleyball?
Oh, yeah. I bought one of those games because somebody was like ranting and raving about how great of a volleyball game it was, and I was like, I like sports games, let me buy this.
Great volleyball game, yeah.
I buy it, and it's just like, it's straight up fan service, and it's for people that are kind of into like the the anime girl aesthetic and all that. And that's fine if you want.
Table tennis of volleyball.
Well, it's so funny, man. Like, I remember the Rockstar table tennis game was like the perfect storm because it was originally just a tech demo that Rockstar put together, and people were like, that looks cool, I'll buy that. So Rockstar like scrambled. They're like, okay, there's not a lot of Xbox 360 games out right now. I want to say they released it a month or two after the 360 launch for $39.99. People bought it in droves, dude. I was shocked how many people bought this table tennis game. I was an idiot. I bought it too. So there you go.
I mean, the biggest game of last year was Untitled Goose Game.
It's a cool game.
But I'm saying, like, dumb stuff pops.
And hooray for indie games, man, because like, it's good that indie games are doing good. Like, for every Untitled Goose Game or Castle Crashers or Shovel Knights, Rogue Legacy, games like that, man, you love to see it. It's people making something they're passionate about. Typically, they're bankrolling it themselves. I mean, I'll even say Minecraft's a good example of that. Somebody who made something they were passionate
literally
about.
Ever is an indie game.
I mean, it just...
Same with movies. Biggest movie of all time, indie movie, Avengers Endgame.
Really? Really? Can we go one episode without making an Avengers joke?
No, it's going to be an ongoing bit forever.
Fun story. Daniel, he definitely listens to the podcast. He backs us on Patreon. At least I hope he listens. But I shop at his comic book store that he runs. And it's a great experience. It's a great store. Yeah. And I go there to pick up my subscriptions. I'm subscribed to the Sonic comics. I have to get those. And by the way, the new IDW run, if you're into comics at all, check it out. It's amazing. Ian Flynn is doing a terrific job with Sonic. But I'm flipping through them like, okay, Sonic, this cover, alternate cover. These are all looking great. Loving them. I'm excited. And like right in the middle of the stack, there's an Avengers comic book. And I look at Daniel and I'm like, what is this? Are you trying to tell me something about myself? Like, so it was apparently a mix-up. Somebody put it in my stack by mistake, but I was like, Avengers comics?
Well, Daniel's like, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be like, well, I heard it's your favorite movie.
I listen to the podcast, and Andy mentions it like every week of how much he loves Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, for something that you mention every week, I thought you'd like it, But yeah, it's just fun. Anyway, E3, man, I hate that everything's getting canceled, but I mean, even today, me and Ashley were supposed to go to an event downtown in Orlando,
and I was supposed to do something today too.
What do you mean?
You keep on going. I'll tell it after.
Oh, well, I'm just saying it got canceled. We were going to go to this event. We were excited for it all week, and it got canceled.
I was going to a amateur pro wrestling thing today. They got canceled.
Oh, that stinks.
And we went to Applebee's instead.
Dude, indie wrestling
They have $1
shows...
lit there today.
$1? What? Wait, $1 what?
$1 long iced teas. Long Island iced teas.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Their
That's
sign
cool.
just says it's $ lit.
I mean, to me, I think it kind of makes sense in a weird way. It's like a good, it's like a little pun, get lit on
good.
some $1 lits. Anyway, moving on to entertain. By the way, thank you, Bobby, for the question or the topic. We appreciate it on a topic, a very not topic
we have one
heavy.
topic, not including that one.
We really don't have much in the way of topics. Anyway, moving on to entertainment here. NFL 2K is back, kinda, sorta. Andy, tell us about it.
2K is making a non-simulation style football game.
Yeah.
And it's gonna suck a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be terrible. Don't get your hypes up. 2K20
Don't get your
sucks.
hypes up. I like that.
WWE 2K20 sucks.
Yeah.
NBA 2K20 sucks. Third point. They haven't made a football game over a decade. Similar thing that is kind of like
15
that.
years, yeah.
NBA Live.
Mhm.
NBA Live didn't have a game for a while. Came back. Guess what? Whoa, it sucked. And still's bad. And they're still working on it. I mean, as much as you want to hate on Madden already has the gears going. They already have the snowball rolling. And they're not going to make a good football game that come out. But the rumor is that they're going to make an NFL Street or NFL Blitz-esque game. NFL Arcade. Madden Arcade.
Yeah.
I guess they can't make that. That can potentially be good, but if they're going to try to make a game competing with Madden, it's going to be awful.
So, I feel like I'm a little bit more optimistic about this, but that being said, I will agree with Andy on one thing. And I say this as someone who had been playing the NBA 2K series since 2K1, has been playing WWE games since I was a kid. I mean, I've my first
since SmackDown 2.
Yeah, my first WWE game was WWF Raw on the Sega Genesis. And before that, I would sometimes rent WWF Royal Rumble or play it at my friend's house. But anyway, when it comes to WWF games, WWE games, WCW games, any wrestling game, I've been playing them forever.
ECW.
And it's really... Oh, yeah, ECW has some pretty cool ones that came out. Anyway, ECW Hardcore Revolution was pretty lit. So... my point in all of this is WWE 2K took the license from THQ in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, no, it wasn't 2015. It was 2K12?
16. Oh, yeah, 2K12. It's definitely 12.
It was 14, I'm sorry. Because WWE 13 was the last one made by THQ, right. And then it was 2K14. And they started off pretty strong, and then everything started going downhill from there. Yeah. And it was very disappointing, and I feel like they've run that product into the ground. 2K20 was a glitchy mess when it came out. NBA 2K20, same thing, and it still is from what I hear. I haven't played 2K20.
NBA 2K, I've been playing it a lot recently, but it's still not a good game. 2K19 was so good.
It's just disappointing. I remember when 2K used to have really good hockey games and really good baseball games, and even towards the end of those games runs, they were not very good. It's like things have really changed at 2K in terms of sports games, so I'm tempering my expectations for this, but I am hopeful that some form of competition, while I realize it isn't a simulation, Madden isn't quite a simulation either. And if they can maybe put some stuff in that gets EA a little bit of fire underneath them to maybe make that product a little bit better, I think that's a good thing. And then if they could maybe get NFL, I don't know, maybe if we get XFL 2K or something, I think that could be really cool and maybe something that kind of pushes EA just a little bit further Competition's a good thing. Even if they made a sim NFL game that's like NFL 2K21 tomorrow, and it's a sim game that isn't very good, it might just be enough for EA to kind of, hit that panic button, get a little motivated.
I think it depends on the sales numbers.
And I'm just going to throw this out there right now. I'm going to buy this because the reason I'm going to buy it is solely because I want to see what it's like. That's number one. The interest, it's piqued my interest.
That college football game that was advertised in your chat constantly, that was real good. What was that game called? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the one that I said was a scam?
Yeah.
That never came out.
No, there's one that came out.
Well, there's like I don't know what.
Maximum Football.
No, I didn't.
Maximum Football 2019.
So that was not a scam. I'm talking about the one that was made by a company called Immaculate Gaming. They are actually, I believe they're calling their game Gridiron Legends or Gridiron Champions or something. And
I think that game came out.
No, it did not come out. You're lying.
When Maximum Football came out, another football game came out with the same day.
No, I'm getting annoyed now because I'm so sick of people talking about that. Those guys are scam artists. They crowdfunded for years and they have nothing to show for it. And it's called Gridiron Champions. They've been crowdfunding for years. They've never shown any gameplay whatsoever. You go on their website, it's
Maximum
nothing
Football
but
and Axis Football. Sorry.
Go on their website. It's nothing but concept art. There's no actual gameplay. They're scam artists. I'm so sorry. And I'll even go this far. I'm going to go this far. A lot of people have given me a lot of flack for saying that these two fellas who run this company called Immaculate Vision Gaming. You go to immaculatevisiongaming.com. Immaculate is spelled incorrectly. It's spelled IMACKULATE. But go there and you can look at the website for yourself. And I've gotten a lot of criticism, especially on my live streams, for calling these guys scam artists. I'm going to give them the opportunity. If somebody wants to contact them, I'm more than willing to bring them on the show and they can interview right here. I'll sit down and I'll talk to them for an hour. I have tons of questions I want to ask them. Starting with, you guys crowdfunded for years. Where's the money? Where is it? When do people get what they were promised? How are you keeping record of all this? Do you have tax statements to prove that you actually have these funds on hand still? These guys are scam artists, and I'm sorry that I went on that rant, but I get triggered when people talk about that stupid college football game that'll never come out. Those guys never intended to do it.
Axis Football and Maximum Football were also advertised in your chat for people.
Oh well, those games just stunk. They just stunk. They were real, but they stunk. So I'm sorry. Anyway, sorry guys. I got way too carried away there. But NFL 2K, whatever they're going to call it, I will buy it day one just to support it because I think it's important to support competition. I think we need less monopolies. I think we really should evaluate, EA's NFL license. Is it an antitrust violation? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'll ask one next time I run into one. But yeah, I'm going to buy it. Andy, would you be interested in buying this at all? You going to buy it at all?
No, I don't care.
No, you don't care. Okay. Well, there you go.
I barely play Madden.
I just want a really good Madden, dude. This year's just didn't do it for me. I mean, it was good, but I just want it. I remember Madden 08, knocked my socks off, dude. I want another Madden that does that. Come on, EA. Give me something to be excited about. What's that?
The AEW video game.
Wait, there's an AEW video game coming out?
There have been, hints at it.
Okay.
And guess what? The important part about it is the hints are that they're going to use the WWF No Mercy engine.
Oh god. Okay, now we're getting into
and make
territory.
an old school
no
AEW game.
They're not going to do that.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes himself said it.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. I believe that WWF No Mercy and all the games that use that engine, WrestleMania 2000, WCW NWO Revenge, WCW versus the World, all those N64 games. I truly believe they're some of the greatest wrestling games of all time because of the balance that system had. It's antiquated. We don't need to go back to that. It wouldn't work. It's
but what if it was like only $20?
That's fine, I guess.
Like what? I mean, obviously it's not gonna be a full 60.
I don't know.
Do that.
I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there too. I'll buy that because I want there to be more wrestling games. I want WWE 2K to get some kind of competition. There were rumors flown around that 2K doesn't have exclusivity on the WWE license. There's something about that deal. They don't have exclusivity. And
I don't know if people compete with them though.
I know, but they were saying WWE was going to try and get somebody who could make a WWE game to get 2K to do something better. But it never came to fruition.
What if they used the engine of the TNA Impact game?
Then I think we have...
I would say that, but I think WWE owns that.
Then I think we have a problem because the
TNA Impact engine turned into the what's the WWE game that was like super over the top? All Stars. The same engine that was TNA Impact engine is All Star engine.
Yeah, it's just not, to me that's not a good idea. Just throwing that out there.
But like not the All Star version, but just the TNA Impact one.
Yeah.
The less extreme one.
Yeah, Andy, take over for just a second here. I'm running into a slight technical issue, so please, I don't know, go on like a little flow of consciousness or something. I don't know.
All right, I guess he's gone. Unexpected. I really don't know what to talk about. Yeah. This was unexpected. Sports is dead. How are you feeling sports is dead? I've been watching a lot of stuff from 1999 and watching like old school WWE, even though WWE is still going. And I thought, what if they just like showed on ESPN like old school sports games and everyone agreed not to look up the scores? You know?
I mean, it's not a bad idea. ESPN, like, it's kind of funny watching them try to fill like Sports Center
UFC
and
event
all
today,
that.
and there's a bowling event today.
I know, but it's just so hard to fill an hour when there's no MLB, NBA,
They canceled
NFL.
like Undisputed and First Take and all that.
Wow. Well,
I have a big business idea.
okay.
Since there's no sports, there's something in Paducah that only my fellow Paducah brethren, the one of you listening,
All right.
and we know each other. And I've already told you this idea.
Ricochet?
Yeah, sure. Ricochet. There's a special place in Paducah called PIR, Paducah International Raceway. It's owned by Tony Stewart and Dale Earnhardt Jr. It was shut down. We launched that baby back up. There's no sports. There's no NASCAR. Everybody goes to PIR and has a great old time. Yee, Bo.
I saw an interesting proposition on Twitter, and I can't give the person credit because I didn't write down their Twitter handle, so I'm sorry.
The Sandlot thing?
No, it was the thing where there were guys who were betting amongst each other because the NBA is not on the air. They were betting on NBA 2K simulations.
Yeah, like the Madden comp guys do that all the time.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So yeah, we used to do that in the EA office when I worked there. We would put ourselves in the game, right? So we would all create our own player, and we'd like split up the office on teams, and then we would simulate both of those teams face each other, and we'd put some stupid bet on it, like loser has to buy tacos or something. Anyway,
but the Sandlot thing is Trevor Bauer wants to have a Sandlot game, no crowd.
I love that they're gonna live stream it. I think that's cool.
That's the plan. Like no fans, they're gonna play like a street game of baseball.
God, they could make a lot of money doing that. They would easily get people that would want to sponsor it. They could make all kinds of money to cover all their costs.
What if they made like a thing at spring training?
Yeah.
Like make a couple, or like even like in the middle of the baseball year, just like have like a Sandlot game between like in the middle of the year between two teams.
Oh, so you're basically pitching like an all-star game that would be fun?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, like an all-star game that would be fun. Yeah, see, you just came up with like the best all-star game concept ever in about 30 seconds.
Where you have two captains like NBA, but you pick them live in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And you live stream it at some like winky-dink random baseball field.
See, now that is something that is against tradition in the MLB that I could get behind. That makes sense. That's fun.
The All-Star Game, how it currently is, I hated it whenever they made the All-Star Game irrelevant, and whoever wins, it doesn't matter what happens.
I hate that it's the
only All-Star Game that mattered.
I hate that
because whoever won the All-Star Game got home field advantage in the World Series.
But that's not fair. Like, what if you win 110, 120 games?
Tradition, though.
It was never relevant to begin with.
I'm kidding.
It's 1,000% fans. Oh my god!
All-Star games suck. Anyways,
sometimes I just want to. Sometimes I just really want to hit you with a baseball bat. Like, you just irritate me.
All-Star games suck.
The NHL had a cool concept for a while.
They do 3-on-3 every year.
You know what I like about the NHL? Their All-Star voting. I don't know if it's still this way, but it used to be only the players voted. So, yeah. So the reason I like that is because who would be the best people to tell you who should be an all-star? The other players. You can't vote for yourself, right? That's number one. But other than that, make it so that you have to, I mean, imagine if the NBA did that. You get NBA all-star teams that were the real all-star team. NFL players, same thing. You know? Anyway.
Yeah, but sometimes they get wonky about it, though.
They do sometimes.
Basketball players constantly be like, "Oh, Michael Beasley should still be in the league. He's a baller."
I know, but the fact that Alex Caruso is in the top 10 at all in All-Star voting at his position is a joke, and it shows that fans
like they should. I mean, there's no real simple
fan
answer
voting.
Stupid. Even like the Baseball Hall of Fame is stupid.
You're right. I mean, the voting.
As funny as
system
is, there's no way Derek Jeter shouldn't have been unanimous.
Well, Ken Griffey Jr. should have been unanimous.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. And
Barry Sanders should have been unanimous. He still isn't even in the Hall of Fame.
You mean Barry Bonds?
Barry Bonds. What I say, Barry Sanders?
Yeah.
He should have been too, anyways. So.
Well, you're right. Anyway, moving on.
But there's no, unanimous thing in football.
There you go. So moving on to DCD Film Club this week. We are... Oh, geez. I know how this is going to go already. So we're covering Alita Battle Angel this week, and it's a film that I really enjoyed. I thought we would stick with action movies after last week's action movie, Upgrade. Yeah. And, oh, geez. I feel like he has notes.
I was pulling up this, but okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you had notes, because usually when you have notes, it's like... I'm going to completely dress down this movie.
I don't have any notes. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Because when I see the little notepad come out, I know it's going to be an absolute...
I have a notepad for good stuff, too. I had a notepad for The Lighthouse.
I wasn't on that episode. So,
but Drake was.
Yeah, there you go. So talk to Drake about that. Drake, you're cool. I like you. You're a neat guy. So, hope you're doing well if you're listening out there. Anyway... Alita Battle Angel, I like it a lot. It's obviously my pick, so I'll let Andy lead off.
Oh. Yay. So, Alita Battle Angel.
What's the point of this segment if that's how you're going to act?
Alita Battle Angel, directed by Robert Rodriguez. Great guy. Love his other movies like Spy Kids 1, 2, 3 and From Dusk Till Dawn. And Shark Boy versus Lava Girl.
It's so true, but I mean,
Sin City, Machete, even.
Sin City was like,
and he also he co-made a movie with your favorite guy, Quentin Tarantino, Grindhouse, Planet Terror, and Death Proof.
I did not know that. I hated Death Proof.
And technically, all of his movies are in the Quentin Tarantino universe, so you can argue that this movie's in the Quentin Tarantino universe.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Let's not talk about that.
All his other movies are in the Quentin Tarantino universe.
No, that's not true. Spy Kids isn't.
It is, because Machete's in the Quentin Tarantino universe, all right?
Okay.
Because Machete's in the El Mariachi universe, and El Mariachi is, I think it shows the Red Apple cigarettes, which is like a Quentin Tarantino thing.
Okay.
And Machete is in Spy Kids.
Okay, but where's the tie for Alita?
Oh, I don't know. I was just memeing.
Okay, good.
And then it's also made by James Cameron. Great guy. He was at the bottom of the ocean one time. That's where they found the Meg in that one great movie.
All right.
So Alita Battle Angel from 2019 It is let me just say, I do have a note. Okay, I lied. I lied to you. I have a paragraph.
Okay.
It says, Alex, your movie taste is the weirdest taste in movies ever. I'm not saying it's a bad taste, but you will hate some standard cookie cutter movie like Avengers Endgame, but like this. And then you'll enjoy a great movie like Under the Skin, but hate Yorgos Lanthimos movies. It's weird. You like normie movies and hate normie movies, and like weird obscure movies and dislike them at the same time.
Okay.
It's just a weird. I don't know. You have a unique.
I'll defend that when you're done.
You have a unique taste.
Okay.
My opinion on Alita Battle Angel. It's sure fine. I don't know. It's a. Oh, I thought a way Quentin Tarantino is fixing it. Christoph Waltz, the way he got his role, because Quentin Tarantino recommended him.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, acting wouldn't say is good or anything. It was fine. Performances.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any music at all.
Mm-hmm.
CGI looked pretty bad at sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah. Seemed like a pretty Spy Kids-esque movie.
Wow. So, okay. So first off, if we're gonna talk about my taste, that's fine.
I'm just pointing out it's you have it. I'm not attacking you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying you have a unique perspective.
I think that we're all a little eclectic. I think that if we wrote, so like, here's the thing. We've talked about this ad nauseum on this show, and I'm certain that somebody right now is like, "Oh my god, I can't stand having to hear Alex say this again." But I'm just gonna say it again. Most people don't watch that many films. Most people don't watch one a week, two a week. People that probably watch 3 or more a week, that's got to be real small, right? So I watch more, I think, than the average person. And I look at someone like my mom, who, love you, Mom, if you're listening. You're awesome. She doesn't watch probably maybe half a dozen new movies every year, I don't think. So those people don't see that many. So if we sat them down, you know, and had them watch 100 things, I bet you they would like some normie movies, as you call them, and some other normie movies they couldn't stand them, and then they probably like. Well, I don't know that. You know, if I gave that to someone who only watches normie movies, they might actually like it.
I'm just saying, like, Under the Skin is a more challenging movie. Parasite, for example, challenging movie. That, I mean, Parasite is pretty a normie movie.
Yeah,
but it's challenging in the fact that it's foreign, so it wasn't a good example.
Okay,
but,
so I try to
like Under the Skin or Yorgos Lanthimos' movies that we've covered, or 2001: Space Odyssey. It's not an easy movie that any, like someone that we're referencing this, your mom. I don't know. She's probably seen the movie. Maybe I would assume.
I don't believe she has.
I don't think she would like 2001: Space Odyssey.
No, I think she would find it boring.
But you like it. And at the same time, like normie movies.
Because I understand, and I'm not saying that you don't understand. I shouldn't say because I understand, because that sounds pretentious. But because I go into it expecting a lower, it's like a lower bar. I mean, that's just really the only thing I can say. So I went into Alita Battle Angel expecting a good action movie. Right? That's it. I don't expect something that's going to try to be more. That's why I was so impressed with Upgrade last week, because Upgrade is not only a good action movie, but there's something behind it. There's an actual thematic exploration going on as you're watching this good action movie. And that's what makes, in my opinion, Upgrade a great action movie. Alita Battle Angel, I would say, is above average. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the best thing you'll ever watch. I'm not even going to say it's the best action movie that came out in 2019. But I think there's some really interesting aspects of this film that make it memorable and relevant to action movies going forward. So, like, first off, I think the screenplay is 1000% written with a sequel in mind. The fact that we probably won't get a sequel
the ending of the movie.
Huh?
The ending of the movie.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So because of that, and the fact that we'll probably never get that sequel, it really kind of fizzles at the end. We don't really get any sort of... There's no justice, if that makes sense. There's no resolution. There's no finality to it. And I think that bothers people. It certainly bothered my wife, and justifiably so, when she explained why the movie ending at that end, why it frustrated her. I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. I would have left the movie theater pissed off if I knew, like I know now, that there will probably never be an Alita Battle Angel 2. As much as I want it to happen, it's just not going to happen. So the screenplay, I think, is it stalls at times. There's some misfires, to use car metaphors, but it's definitely the weakest point of Alita Battle Angel. But what I do really enjoy is we get some great acting performances from Waltz and from... I always forget her name, but I think she did an outstanding job. Rosa Salazar plays Alita Battle Angel in this film, and just she kills it. I mean, she just absolutely kills it. She really has the right visual look, great acting performance. Just jumped off the page, and that kind of segues into my next point is the visual effects in this film. I'm going to disagree with Andy. I think they were phenomenally done. I think what they did specifically, well, there are points, but specifically what they did with the eyes and the facial features, I thought that was just amazing. It's something that they couldn't have done 10 years ago. And I think it's a real shame that we won't get a sequel, because I feel like it would be even better done in the next film, given the budget. But I did watch some behind the scenes footage on how they were able to approach Alita's facial features in this film, and I thought it was fascinating and groundbreaking in film what they did visually here. So really like that. As Andy said, the score, nothing really jumps out at you, but I think based on the acting performances, it being a decent action movie, and the visual effects, it's something that I did want to cover on here. I did like it. The screenplay is weak. I do agree with my wife on that. I wouldn't say that I was necessarily pissed off with it. I just wish that we got to see more Edward Norton. I wish that we did get to see more of I forget the name of the city already, Islam or something. It's up in the sky. They reference it continually throughout, and you never really get to see it. And I think that's something that, yeah, Islam.
Yeah, I was like, what is the word? It's like Salem. It's
Zalem. Zalem. I forget exactly.
Because the whole time I was thinking in my head, oh, Salem.
Yeah. So, like overall, I think it's an above average film, and I think that with a better screenplay, it could have been great. But I did want to cover it on here because we're kind of in that action movie phase, and I just wanted to talk about this one for a long time on this show. So,
which I will say, I've said countless times, I'm not an action fan.
That's fair. I'm a movie for guys who like movies type guy. Like Dread is one of my favorite films ever, and it's just a balls to the wall action movie from start to finish, and we covered that on here, and Andy really didn't like it, and I love it. I mean, I gave it 10 out of 10. What are you saying? Yeah, but as far as my taste, I think that Andy, you make a fair point. I think that sometimes I am a little bit all over the place, and I think that generally my problem is I do go into things, and I probably am a little bit too forgiving. As I don't think I would be a good movie critic. I think that's
I'm pretty
my point.
Forgiving. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, I think that sometimes, like, I'm not, maybe I might be an okay movie critic, but I don't think that I'd ever be a great one in any world, in any universe, because I go into things and I really take into consideration and probably end up a little bit biased where I look at something and I go, all it's trying to do is be a kid's movie. Or all it's trying to do is be a stupid comedy. So then I sit there and I go, well, is it successful at what it's trying to be? It's like, I kind of look at it like cars, right? Not everything tries to be a Ferrari. A Honda Civic, what is it trying to do? Get good gas mileage, look okay, and be reliable. And it's successful on those fronts.
Get from place A to one place B.
Well, I mean, that's what a Honda Civic will do for you. So some people like me would say, you know what, the Honda Civic is a great car because performance-wise, it'll get its doors blown off by anything, right?
I mean, I drive an Altima, so
if you're successful at what you sought out to do, if you're successful in doing that, is it not good? To me, it is. But then some people would look at this and say, well, while it did seek out these main points, right, these bullet points, and it did succeed on those fronts, it's still crappy. Well, okay, then you were never going to like it. Because this isn't going to be high art. This isn't going to be Synecdoche, New York. Okay, we're talking two totally different ends of the spectrum, right? So, yeah, I'm, and why do I not like Yogurt's movies? Because they're pretentious avant-garde BS. So that I don't have to edit it in post. But, like, to me, it's pretentious. It's avant-garde. It tries way too hard to be cute and symbolic, and I can't stand it. But some people like it, and I got feedback all over the place after that episode. I goofed on the review. I don't think so.
Whenever I mentioned what part was funny, I should have mentioned the spaghetti part instead.
I guess it had some comedic element. The only thing that made me laugh is when he was spinning around with the rifle. I was like, this is stupid. Like, we've completely gone off the rails. Not the
spaghetti when he's like, my dad told me, or like, ever since my dad died, everybody was like, I eat spaghetti just like my dad. Then it turns out everybody eats spaghetti that way.
Yeah.
Every single person.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't perform it as good as he did, but I
just don't like the pretentiousness of it all. But, a lot of people do. And like I said, after that episode, I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, you're wrong, or it was good, or whatever. And that's your opinion, and that's fine, Like, we're all going to disagree on things. And, for Christ's sakes, I think Freddy Got Fingered is good just because it succeeds at what it set out to do. That's it. That's all. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And he's giving me the thumbs up. But
I was giving Freddy Got Fingered a thumbs up.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I go back and I watch it every once in a while. I've probably watched that way too many times.
Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, yeah.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Worse than Sonic, better than Man of Steel.
So my wife really didn't like it. She said it was a 6. She kind of felt like I did. She liked the visual aspect. She loved
rating. It just threw me off. I don't know. A 6 is when I get to the territory when I'm starting to like something.
Okay, well, she did like it. She just didn't like the ending.
Oh, I thought
I should have been.
The way you said it, I was like, I thought you were like, she didn't like the movie. 6 out of 10. I was like,
yeah.
What?
So I really liked it. I agree with my wife on the ending 1,000%. I know Andy mentioned the ending too. I agree with him as well. I think that's the weakest. I think the screenplay really is the weakest part overall, and because of that, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
It was one of my main criticisms of Good Boys.
Yeah, but here's
6.5 out of 10. I talked about him 6.5 out of 10. By the way,
here's the thing. Like, I just really, really want more movies like this, something different, and I just hate that we're not going to get it. And again, you're probably listening saying, I'm so sick of Disney stuff, I'm so sick of Marvel, and I'm so sorry, I'm sick of DC too. I want
Fast
more
and Furious.
You know what, I used to be the biggest Fast and Furious film fan, period. Like, I watched the first 2 a billion times. My friends and I used to just watch it. Every time we would hang out, we'd have it running in the background. I think it's completely overdone at this point. And I think superhero movies are completely overdone. I think we would be good to take a break from them, but they make just so much money that everybody keeps making them. But I just want more weird stuff like this that's unique, that's based on a manga, that's something totally different. A lot of people didn't even... My wife had no idea what Alita Battle Angel was before she watched it. So, I don't know. But that's just my rant on the film industry nowadays. So, we had our discussion over Alita Battle Angel. What do we have next week? It's Jared, a Patreon backer. He made his pick. And in the notes, I see that Andy has Big Jugs for Wiener Hugs 3. I don't even know if that's a thing. I assume it really is. But what's Jared's real pick?
Jared, Patreon sponsor, thank you. His pick is The Favorite from Yorgos Lanthimos.
You're kidding, right?
No.
No, you're kidding, right?
It's on HBO Now.
No, that
Jared's
can't.
pick.
I can't see the full.
It's Jared's pick.
I can't see the full box art.
It's The Favorite from 2018.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, Dick Figures the movie. It's coming.
I couldn't quit on the bit, but I quit. Now it went on too long to keep on going.
I was really scared. I honestly thought that Jared did it just to troll.
I'm trying to see the year. His pick is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from 1991, starring Kevin Costner.
That is... I am excited to go watch that because I have not watched it since pretty close to when it came out. And I watched it, obviously, as a kid. And I remember it being really good. So I'm kind of wondering if it held up. I would assume it did. Because Kevin Costner's usually...
It's directed by the
money.
same guy who did Kevin Costner's best movie, Waterworld.
Waterworld is on sale on Vudu right now for, I think, $4.99
I own it.
if you want it. So there you go.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is on Netflix. Or if you don't have Netflix, YouTube, Google, Amazon, Vudu, iTunes, $2.99.
Well, there you go. Covering that next week. I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for the suggestion, Jared, and looking forward to watching it.
It is 2 hours and 35 minutes, by the way.
I'm not gonna get mad about that. I'm not gonna get mad about that. Oh, well, that's the extended version. What if I watch?
Oh, that's what Google says.
Yeah, I could watch this. Well,
let me go to
the
Netflix
non-extended version is 2 hours and 23 minutes. So
yeah, 2 hours 23 minutes.
Yeah,
Still
it's fine.
A decent chunk.
Yeah, I'll watch it. So I mean, I have to, but I'll watch it, and I'm fine with it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for DCD 72. And as always, want to go through a couple things here before we get out of here, and that's t-shirt link always in the description. If you buy one of those, we get $6. We are going to be sending our Patreon backers t-shirts real shortly here, but I'm working on the logistics behind that, so please be patient. But I did look into it, and those are on the way. Speaking of, by the time you listen to this, they will be on the way. So anyway, in addition, while we're talking about Patreon, go to patreon.com/DCD podcast. You can support the podcast for as little as $1 a month. You get early access, all kinds of other great things. And want to thank our current Patreon backers, Dumbest Sphinx in the Egg tier, Bobby in the Andy tier, and Jared and Daniel in the Gold tier. Thank you very much for your support. We really appreciate you guys. Literally keep the show going from a financial aspect for sure. So, and then also, if you can't back us financially, that's cool. Totally understandable. There's a couple things you can do that are free. So, you can leave us a review on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can tell a friend about the show. Those all really help a lot. So, yeah, that's all I have. Andy, anything else before we get out of here?
No.
Okay, Andy's mini sports talk at the end of the show has been canceled due to current events, as everything else has been canceled due to current events.
I haven't talked about that recently. It's been a while.
I know, it has been a while. Anyway.
I'm watching James Bond movies.
Well, yeah, there you go. I saw the collection when I went to Best Buy today. I was tempted to buy it. But...
Oh, you mean
This?
The giant, yeah, I almost bought it, but then I told my wife, I said I've never actually really gotten really into the James Bond movies, so I said I don't know if I want to spend $70 on this. Ooh, that's actually a really good. Oh my goodness, man.
They're the collector's editions.
Well, that's really nice. I love MASH. Andy's holding up MASH in the James Bond collection on Blu-ray. So, yeah, that's going to do it for DCD 72. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.